Hey guys, Matthias here from Molnify. I hope you're all doing good. Today I want to show you an app that does 5 things. Okay, so this is the application right here. It has a text box here which I can use to input text. If I type, this is the first test here. Right, then it has variable A which I can set to whatever I like, so 123 maybe, and variable B I'll set that to 654. If I go down here, I can type my email address, matthias@molnify.com, and that's it really. That's what the app do. So now when I click this button here, perform multiple actions, it will perform 5 things. So first of all, it will add a row of data to a Google spreadsheet, and that Google spreadsheet is the same Google spreadsheet as this app is built in. This app doesn't come from Excel this time, it comes from Google Spreadsheet. Second thing it'll do, it'll take that same data and add that to the Molnify SQL database, and that will actually also show up here once it's sent and once another calc is performed. So that's 2 things: add row to Google Spreadsheet and add row of data to the SQL database. Number 3, it will send an email to whatever is in the email box. Number 4, it will save everything as a scenario in the app and it will name that. And as for number 5, it will generate a PDF from a template uploaded to Molnify. The PDF template is going to include pre-made graphics and data from the app. So let's go ahead and try it. I'm clicking the perform multiple actions, and it says performing lots of tasks. Hang on. It's going to take a while, and then we can see that a PDF has been downloaded, and let's take a look at that first. Here is the PDF. So the template is this up here, typed text, the color here, the text here, equation, the color here, and the picture that comes from the template. The data here, this is the first test, and the number here, that comes from the application. And you can style these templates any way you want, really. Second of all, we can see that a scenario has been saved, and it's named scenario number 1 here. Right now it doesn't say anything in the box here with data from the database, but as I said, this needs a calc to show up. So if I just click the plus sign here, boom, there we have it. This is the first test and then the equation. Okay, so let's also check out the email that the app sent, and I'll go to my inbox here, and yeah, here it is from Molnify. Email from Molnify's multiple action demo, and this is sent at 2:59 p.m. and if I click it, it will just say this is the first text, and that is text from the application. Okay, great. So let's take a look at this app and how the actions are built. I don't think we need to go into the HTML that goes into this or how you create the text box. We have other tutorials for that, so let's just take a look at the actions. Oh, and I forgot, we need to see the data that it added to the Google spreadsheets as well. Here in the tab add data, which I created, here we can see this is the first test, the equation, and also the email of the sender. All right, so in this Google spreadsheet here, I have my inputs here, and they are all colored green as usual. I have my outputs, which are an output box, another output box, and then the HTML box down here, and these cells are colored red. Then I have my table here, which will hold data from the database, and that data comes through actually the metadata through a functionality called autofill. So autofill lets you input SQL strings really directly into the Google Sheets or the Excel file. So here I have a select everything from data underscore Molnify underscore multiple action demo, and then another one which will actually just count the number of rows. So it's a select count case when string here. All right, but let's go into the actions now. There were 5 of them, and they are all tied together in a multiple action. Which means that you can't see these 5 different actions in the app. you can only see one button, and that is the multiple action button, which performs all 5 of these actions. So let's go through the actions one by one, and then also let's have a look at the multiple action. The first one, the type is add row, and the second thing you set in an add row action is where to save the data. And you can see here, this is the URL to the Google Spreadsheets that I am in right now. I added a title so that if I want to show the buttons, this is good when building the app, I will know that the button for this one is add row. The button will read add row. But since hidden down here is set to true, we won't see the button at all. Okay, so the next thing in add row is that you need to specify the different columns. So you do that with numbers. So in column 1, I just made a cell reference to this cell right here, which will be the text. And then in column 2, that will be a cell reference to the equation, 481 in this case, but that could be really anything. Here I have an if formula, so if D7, that is up here where the user is supposed to type his email, if that one is empty, it will say no email specified, otherwise it will write out whatever is written in this cell right here. Next thing you specify in this action is which sheet the data should end up in, and my sheet is called add data, and that is the sheet down here. So yeah, here I have pre-written this text here, so text, equation, and email. Then I specify the name of this action, and this is what this action is called. This one is called add, and that's important because over here, the first action that is performed by the multiple, you specify that by typing in the name of the action. And in this case, it's add. It could be anything, of course. You can name the action hello if you want to do that, but it's I think it's easier to to type add if it's an add row, for instance. Next one is hidden, and that's set to true, so the button for this action will not show up in the app. The second one is similar. It's the insert row function that also sends a row of data, but not to a Google spreadsheet, but rather to Molnify's SQL database. Here, when we specify columns, we don't specify them as numbers. We actually specify them as the name of the column in the SQL database. So if I head on over to my SQL database, and if I refresh it, yeah, here you can see that the data came up as well. This is the first test. Here in the SQL database, I can see that this column is named text, and this one is named equation. So in the Google Sheets action here, I specify period, text, and then period, equation. And then in the yellow cell right next to it, I only have a cell reference here to D14, and here it's a cell reference to D12. Title is insert row, and then table name, that is the name of the SQL database. Specify that here, so data underscore Molnify underscore multiple actions demo. The name of this entire action is insert, and it's also hidden is set to true. Next one is a scenario save action. In Molnify you can save scenarios in 2 ways. Either you can just type enabled for save and set that to true in the metadata. In that case you will get this little diskette icon up here, but I think it's nicer to actually have a button down here where it says save scenario, or in this case perform multiple actions. You can CSS this button away if you want to, or you can leave it. I left it here for demo purposes. But the action down here, type save scenario, that will save the scenario. And old name is, it's not that important, but it's a scenario number D13 plus 1. So in D13 here is actually where the number of rows of data in the SQL will end up. It says 0 here because my Google Sheets is not connected to the SQL, but the Molnify app is. It will also set a new name here, and that is the exact same name as the old name, because we are doing new names all the time. We're not updating old scenarios. It's set to not to private, so all scenarios saved, they are visible to anyone using the app. And I should mention as well that if you are to save a scenario in a Molnify app, you need to be logged in as a user. Creating a Molnify account is free, and you can do that at app.molnify.com if you want to try this out. It's set to hidden true as the other ones, of course. The name is set to save, and here we have something special here. It says success refresh scenario list. That means that when this action has run its course, it will also refresh the scenario up here. So you can see that, for instance, if I type the second test here, then I'll just change stuff around and I'll perform the action. You will see that I won't do anything, but this will change to scenario number 2. And now it's going to do all of the other things as well. So it's going to download a new template, it'll send the mails, it'll add data to the Google Spreadsheet and everything. You can check out the new, the second test, works like a charm. But now in my scenario list, I have 2 scenarios, scenario number 1 and number 2. Right. The title on this one is Save Scenario. Then we come down to Generate File down here. So type Generate File, and here you specify which template to use. And I have created that amazing template that you saw before. It looks like this. It's very simple. And the way this works is that you name ranges here, so where you want the data to end up, and then you name ranges in, or actually tables. You can use both ranges and tables. Ranges for single cells and tables if you have multiple cells. So I have merged a bunch of cells here, and I have named this range template 1, as you can see here. And then down here I merged a bunch of cells as well and named it template 2. Then I added a picture here for the Molnify logo, and I've colored these areas into beautiful colors, and I typed some text as well. Then I save this file as template underscore multiple action demo, and I also need to upload this to the Molnify FTP server. So if you would like to try with your own template, you can send an email to me with that template, matthias@molnify.com, and we will help you out with that. Anyways, in the Google Sheets sheet here, I have also named a few ranges. So if we, for instance, have a look at template 1, you can see that that's D14. It's this one, and template 2 is this one up here. And these ranges needs to be named exactly the same as the ranges or tables in the receiving template. Okay. The last functionality is the type email action. And here it lets you specify who to send your email to, and in this case it's going to be sent to matthias@molnify.com, and then a semicolon, and then a cell reference to D7, and D7 is where a person can type in their email address. So it will be sent to a maximum of 2 email recipients. Next is the content of the email, and that is specified by contents HTML. This is a cell reference to D14, and in D14, well, that is where the text is that the user can type in. The subject, I hard-coded that. You can also use Excel formulas or Google Sheet formulas if you want, but here it just says now email from Molnify's multiple action demo. It's from Molnify. The name of the action is email. The title is email me if it were to show, but it's also hidden. And then I put an alert text down here, and my alert text reads performing lots of tasks, hang on. Okay, so that's all the actions. To tie these all together in a multiple action, it's super simple. You just type out type and multiple, then title, and that will be the title of the button. It says here perform multiple actions, and if we have a look at the app, you can see that, yeah, that is indeed the title of the button, perform multiple actions. And then you just number your actions. So first perform add, then insert, then save, then email, and then generate. All right, that's it. If you want to try this app, you can head on over to app.molnify.com/app/multiple action demo, and you can try to perform all of these actions yourself. If you want to try and upload your own application, you can head on over to app.molnify.com, create an account, and then click create app and drop your Excel files here, or click here to create a new app from a Google Spreadsheet, or here to link an existing spreadsheet as an app. All right, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoy this. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you want to try to upload your own files, you have a 30-day free trial waiting for you at app.molnify.com. Have a nice day, and bye-bye.